So today we're really excited about the installation of the Proteng fire suppression system that National Indoor RV is providing to us so that we can actually bring this installation video to you. What you're seeing here is the professional drivers that they have that pretty much do all the jockeying around of the rigs in the tight quarters here to make sure that your beloved home arrives safe and sound in the service bay when the work is about to begin. This service bay that we're shown in here, we actually ended up staying overnight in because some of the work that they had worked on needed some follow-up the next day, and what the heck, why pack up everything when you don't have to? So we enjoyed the adventure inside National Indoor overnight. Why don't you come along with us and we'll show you some of the areas that these tubes have been installed. Some of them are quite surprising, like that dashboard there. We'll talk about what's inside these tubes, what some of the different tubes look like. Of course, you're going to protect the generator area, and you'll see how that's stuffed in behind a whole pile of wiring there. Joey is showing us here how he installed the tube to protect the inverter and the aqua hot area and the transfer switch. Hey, why don't you come along with us and see the whole episode, how this installation went and what we think of the whole system. I think you'll find it very interesting. Oh, hi Sue. Come on into my office here.
Oh my gosh.
So I was just wondering, looking at these samples here, man, let's share it with the folks here. This is the two examples of, let's call it the before and the after of a Proteng tube after it has done its job and protected the equipment that it was built to protect. Now you'll notice that when I rotate this back and forth here, this is kind of like a bubble level. You can see the empty amount that's in here, and it certainly is an indicator that there's actually a liquid in here. This is not a gas, and that's why it has a little bit of a heft to it. I wouldn't actually call it heavy, but you can tell that it's full of liquid. Basically the density of water almost doesn't seem much heavier than that. These are totally made in America with the exception of this proprietary extruded tube here that's brought over from Europe, but the ends, the metal ends and all of the fittings, the swedging of it, the actual insertion of the FM200 liquid that's in there, that's all US made. Now, I just had these installed on our rig, and typically I think they like to put it up high, up above, relatively close, but up above what they're protecting. But there are times that if they were protecting this, if the only available space is to put it on either side, or for that matter, even on the bottom, they will do that. Your installer here will know what is the best, the second best, and the third best installation based on where they can fit it. And let's face it, you know, there's the ideal world and then there's the real world. So you have to put this where you have the ability to attach it and keep it safely fastened. This does not displace the oxygen where if it went off, all of a sudden you wouldn't be able to breathe. The way this thing works is this seeks out the heat and it puts the heat out. When you have a fire that will cause this tube, and remember this tube could be 10 or 15 feet long, it could be snaking in and around an engine compartment, and everything is perfect in that engine compartment except over here, it got a little hot. Well, when it got a little hot and it caused this tube in this area to get soft, and the liquid inside started to turn into a gas, the pressure goes up so much it will rupture this tube, and that liquid will immediately flash to a gas, and the gas will be like 1.7 degrees Fahrenheit, super cold, super fast, takes all the heat away, and when you take the heat away from a fire, you have no fire. This is designed to put out the fire. There's always the possibility that if whatever has went wrong could actually reignite, this will have already been spent and will have done its job. And then it's up to you to get out of the rig. I'm thinking that once this blows out and puts the fire out and you get that added smoke, if your smoke alarms did not go off quick enough, this has bought you that additional time to create that puff of smoke by putting this all out. Your alarms will go on and you get the heck out of your rig. If you have not looked at our fire prevention video that we did probably over a year ago, we did an extensive talk about all of the levels of different steps and fire extinguishers and escape boards and every single technique that we use up to this point to try to stay as safe as we can. The last element, actually, the most complete step, and yes, the most expensive step, was finally putting this system on board. What a mess in here.
Oh,
what's
my
happening?
God, Mark, stop showing our place.
Well, honey, we have an excuse. What's our excuse?
All right, we're in Nirvc service bay. So we're inside. We're able to open up, but we had to drive here. It's like, why put it all together if we just have to close it up again?
And look at what a great wife she is. She's working on an episode.
I am.
Right, even though as an RVer, it's a bicycle episode.
Oh, it's an awesome bicycle one. You all want to see it. Go ahead and check it out.
Back on track. The reason I'm in here is it's nice and quiet right now, and I saw that Joey has pre-staged for me this tube that's going to go in the dashboard. And I guess on one hand I'm kind of surprised by that, but yet not. I mean, there's quite a bit of wiring and things that's going on in here, and apparently he's going to open up somewhere here and sneak that tube in, maybe nominally right where I have it, and it's just going to be laying in there because it's pretty light. It is a liquid, but even if it were to discharge prematurely, it literally leaves no residue, no powder, no anything. It's totally safe setup.
I'm gonna take this duck off right here.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Holy cats. I had no idea there's so much stuff in here. Look at that, Annie. Oh my God.
It's a lot of stuff.
There's the old famous comfort drive right there, that knob. That's why I bought the rig. Alright, I'll get out of your way. Yeah, we like staying free at National Indoor. You know, if you want to take another week on this project, we're okay with that.
Oh my gosh.
Just clock us out.
Clock us out.
This is the installation of the small tube in the half bath. You can see on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of wires for all the DC control stuff. In that metal box is in fact kind of a fancy circuit board. And on the right side, that breaker panel is for all of the AC equipment inside the rig. Two of the longer Proteng tubes that apparently are going to be, probably one of them is going to be in my engine compartment, wound up above the engine, and the other one kind of snakes through the underside of the floor and ends up going over to where the aquahot is and where my inverter is and my solar controller to protect that whole area. This jacket here more than likely will go on whichever one of these tubes goes in my engine compartment. And I can tell you which one that is. It's going to be this one that says heavy duty on it. This bag here of clips is this supports that will be screwed periodically around different areas, and the zip ties are also shown there. All diesel motorhomes, typically right underneath where the driver is, has a compartment that has the more fancy controls and electronics modules that have to communicate with other areas of the coach, and also typically has different fuse boxes that a lot of controls run to and back and forth between different important areas. So that box that I have on the bottom with the red top, that Tupperware container, that's a whole pile of fuses to be used there. I can tell you in 4 years, I think I used one fuse, and even at that, not sure if I really needed it. So this has been a really reliable compartment. It's sealed very well. This is the only compartment on this thing that is sealed as well as like a Prevost. So a Prevost, all of their basement compartments are basically duplicates of something like this or much better. You can see that this small tube here, Joey is going to be putting this one here somewhere against the wall or up above. We'll keep tabs on him and see where he puts it. But you can see how small that tube is, and yet it's able to cover the volume of that compartment. This is our 10,000 watt Onan diesel generator, and here's the installation. You can see the red cap on one side, and the tube is, I don't know, about 2.5 feet long, and red cap on the other side. It actually got installed so quickly while we were at National Indoor that I wasn't able to catch it on film. So here it is. Apparently this tube is going to be positioned probably up in the top of this compartment to protect whatever's going on in here that you don't want going on.
So the Proteng, I have it running from back there, where the short cord is, and it comes and loops around the inverter, and it ends right here.
It's literally encircling the inverter?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good protection.
And then for your solar power,
Yeah.
panel and stuff that you have back there, I'm going to use the one that's laying right there on the ground.
Oh, okay, so it'll be its own deal here.
Yeah.
Okay, and that'll be put on similar to how the battery bay was.
Correct.
Okay. Upper tube that comes from encircling the inverter area goes right directly across my Oasis diesel boiler for the water and the heat. And then you can see that the hose continues on and sneaks into the transfer switch area and where our power cord reel is. Let's go take a look at that. Up above you see the Proteng tube that came from the previous compartments of the solar controller as well as the inverter, and it terminates all the way over here with the red cap that you see there at the end, and you can see this pile of electronics that it is monitoring. The area above the batteries did not lend itself to attach a tube, so the secondary position was used, and that was to attach it directly to the bay door as high as possible in the bay. Remember, this bay does not have a bottom to it. It is vented. I had expected this tube to be installed above the engine, but apparently everything is too hot in there. So the installation is done inside the frame rail of the chassis in the area where the diesel particulate filter is, and then it goes over the Allison transmission and encircles the opposite side of the engine as well. In your training, did they specifically tell you how close you could get to those the diesel particulate filters.
So you don't want to get, which is right above them, set about a hand length apart. And as you can see, I did kind of go over this way over here to avoid it. And then once I come up here, I go into the frame. So the frame itself also helps protect from the heat.
Yeah. So congratulations. If you lasted this long in the video, I'm going to give you a little bonus tip. I would suggest you go to the Proteng.com website and watch this video. And if your time is limited, I would say speed to the area of 1307 and watch that. What you're going to see is you're going to see this guy here that is 20 some years old, very wiry, 6 foot tall. He's a PDI technician, so he's very familiar with the machinery here. Watch how he steps out of this window and imagine yourself doing that. Watch the second leg. Give me a break. So make sure you watch that video. There's a lot of great information in it. The other one you might want to relive is the Fire Prevention Week video that we made, episode 137, on September 27th of 2020. In that episode, I talk about the assist that I have to have for someone with my flexibility and girth. There's just no way on that skinny little dresser that I'm going to be able to get out. But I can tell you that from the moment I made this board and we store it off to the side like you saw, my confidence level to get out of the rig during a fire has went way up. So if you'd like to know about all of the different fire prevention techniques and gadgets and smoke detectors and CO detectors that we have in our rig, as well as any other tips that came up along the way in this video, give it a look. Fire Prevention Week video, September 27th, 2020, episode 137. Sometimes I've got questions that I just can't answer, so I was wondering if you could help me. You'll notice this award here, 2014, and then they won another award in 2015, and then let's not forget 2016 and 2017. Now, maybe they just ran out of wall space, and we don't know where 2018 and 2019 are. I'm thinking they were washing these, and they shrunk in the washer and the dryer cycle, and actually I like them better small like that. So I don't know, I'm thinking I'm gonna tell them that maybe they should just take these and put them in the washer and the dryer as well. Sue and I would like to thank everyone for stopping in and checking our videos out week after week. We are especially encouraged by the folks that contact us through email or comments and say they love how we will educate them on the different safety features and things to do while you're RVing. So until next week, Sunday, Sue and I would like to say Merry Christmas, and like always, thanks for stopping by.